Alright, folks, we are here for the off-season episode. We did lose in the World Series. First off, before we even get into that, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you're following, make sure you are sending this out to friends and family. We are out for revenge, out for blood here in this next season, coming up in the seasons following. So if you are enjoying the series, as you guys seem to have been, thank you for the support. But yeah, we are here in the process of getting our team a little bit better. And I did accidentally skip over the retirements. I forgot that goes like really right into the retirements. I think we only had one retirement in Isaac Coffey, who we signed like in the middle of last season because we had like 8 pitchers hurt. But also, I think I'll show it on the screen. I took a screenshot of it. Max Scherzer and Clint Kershaw made the Hall of Fame, but I didn't see any too big notable names other than that. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. First, here are all 4 of our contract negotiation eligible guys. We have 128 in available budget here on the bottom you see there, and that is just right now. This is with no pending offers, no anything. That is not going to be what the number is. Michael Kopech is the only guy I really have interest in bringing back. He's $4.5 million a year. Miguel Castro, who did well for us, is at $4 million a year. Jose Leclerc is more at 4.5 as well. He did well. And then Jordan Montgomery, he's about 14. I don't think we're going to be bringing back Montgomery. These guys, I'll probably go to free agency and then decide. Kopech would definitely be the one I would like the most, even though this postseason was pretty tough for him. We'll kind of figure out what we had to figure out. Here, we have to get Alex Cora back, new third base coach, a new pitching coach, and then we will go into free agency, see what all these arbitration numbers are going to be and all that stuff. So, again, if you're excited, let me know. Before that, let's just kind of delve into what our process is going to be here. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pitchers, including Johnny Turner and Brian Bayo. We have a surplus here. Now, a guy like Cutter Crawford, he's up for arbitration. Is he a guy that we want to give $7, $8, $9 million a year to? I don't know. This is a guy we try to trade away. Tanner Houck, he has one more ARB year. He has been pretty solid for us the last 2 years. Obviously, we have Sandy for 1 more year, and then Crochet we have locked in until 2032. But with a guy like Tony Gonsolin, also arbitration eligible, also had a very good year. Montgomery is going to be the odd man out. Johnny Turner, he's ready to go. Brian Bayo, obviously we still have to float around with him with $9 million for the next couple of seasons. We have guys, and we have maybe too many guys. Right now, Crawford, Montgomery might be 2 guys that aren't on the team. Definitely Montgomery won't be coming back unless something crazy happens. But Cutter Crawford is definitely the guy we have to make a decision on. And then obviously the rest of our guys, and then our new rookies are in the class. Ronaldo Torres, DJ Park, and the likes are in the game now at this time. Bullpen wise, again, we got Whitlock. This is going to be a constant rotation, a constant. We'll see who stays on, who gets kicked out, and what the decisions are here later on. Slayton not going to be our closer. That's the one thing I want to go out and get is a dominant back of the bullpen arm or 2. Clearly showed regression towards the end of the year, giving up a lot of home runs, a lot of hits, as you see with those numbers going well down. Did have 43 saves, only blew 5, but 5.15 ERA. It just wasn't good. I don't know what it was. I think he's just a better arm towards the middle of the bullpen, and I don't think he's just a closer. I thought he was after these 2 seasons, one in real life. Obviously, he's killing it in real life now, but it just isn't. Connor Wong is another ARB. Actually, has one more year here at $3.3 million, which is fine. Blake Sable's up for arbitration. He'll probably get cut. We'll talk about that. Carlos Narvaez will probably be our backup catcher. Tristan Casas, continue to do Tristan Casas things. Brendan Donovan, this is going to be an interesting one. Donovan's up for arbitration. Casas also up for arbitration. We'll see how much they get. David Hamilton, a guy We can renew for one more year. We're probably going to be flipping him. He's good. He's good enough to be somewhere. He's just not going to play with Christian Campbell being our guy. And what we are going to do with all of our big three is we'll be renewing their contracts and then in free agency spring training trying to extend them. So those large cap numbers don't roll over until next year when you have $45 million off the books of Alex Bregman. Probably that money can go to all three of these guys, hopefully long term. So we will see. Romy Gonzalez, a guy who's probably going to get cut with arbitration, is what it is. More years of these guys. Marcelo Meyer, Rodolfo Castro under contract. Trevor Story is a big one. Do we cut bait with Trevor Story finally? Do we DFA Trevor Story? Try to get that off the books. I'll see what the money what looks like there. Duran, another 2 years of arbitration, so we have him until his age 32 season. San Rafael locked up, and then obviously Roman Anthony. Alex Call has some arb years. So let's go into it. I'm going to go in, grab coaches, do all that stuff, and we'll see who's in free agency coming up here shortly. So doing some trimming around the roster. Let's just see kind of where we have in the let's see where we're at in the salary arbitrations. I've offered arbitration to most of these guys. Two guys here, Brennan Donovan and Cutter Crawford. You can trade pre-arbitration guys in this game. However, sometimes the teams that trade for them don't sign them. So the plan is I will sign them to these one-year deals and then trade them. So it's basically like we traded them and then the teams offered them arbitration or a pre-arb deal, and they came to an agreement. So Brennan Donovan and Cutter Crawford, we are going to look to get rid of here in the upcoming future. Tony Gonsolin, he was pretty expensive. I'm going to offer him arbitration, see what we get in that case. Everyone else we've offered here. I ended up offering Romy because he was only asking for like $1 million or so. So we give him 2 years, hopefully just to be some depth for us. But other than that, nothing really too crazy here. And then Blake Sabol, we're going to not re-up on. Other things here as we go to the roster. Let me make this Sabol move. We will release Sabol. I did do some trimming on guys I wasn't going to bring back. And the big one here is Trevor Story. We are going to DFA Story. We just release him right here. The $17.5 million this year, $8.5 next year. So we will just put on outright waivers and see what's going to go on with him. See if anyone picks him up. But let's check out this free agent class while we are at it. Here we go. So starting with the starting pitchers, Tarek Skubal is the guy here. He is going to be getting a bag from somebody. Freddie Peralta, as you see, we only have about $16 million to play with after taking into account everything. But, a couple of that will come off the books. Some of it will be different, so I don't look at it too closely just quite yet. But Freddie Peralta is a big fish out here. Nestor Cortez, Jack Flaherty, Shane Bieber, Brandon Woodruff, and some familiar faces down here. These are the types of guys that we can go after if we would like to, but again, we're probably set on starting pitching at the moment. Relievers, Chris Bubich is a big one. Evan Phillips is a big one. Brian Abreu, a big one that we can potentially jump in on. So a couple of good reliever arms here. David Bednar has had definitely much better years than his blow-up year here. Maybe this is the closer that we go out and try to grab. Pete Fairbanks, he's been pretty good as well. Estevez, Stevenson, and the likes here in the closing pitching market. So nothing too crazy, nothing too insane, but definitely some moves to be made, I think, in this market. Catchers wise, Ryan Jeffers is the big fish. Other than that, some backups here. We're going to be looking here not for a backup for the major leagues, but for some depth in our minor league system. So we'll probably grab somebody in this range over here. First baseman, Big Meat Pete is available after 2 years in New York, where one was pretty good, the second one was pretty bad. He is again entering the free agent market on a down slide. So you see he's only asking for $13 million a year. I don't think we're going to get in this race. Our position players are pretty much set in stone, but a guy to look out for the rest of the league. Ryan Mountcastle, a sneaky guy as well, 99 contact versus left, and not the biggest power guy. but a guy that can help a lineup for sure. Nate Lowe, Luis Ariz, and the likes around here. Shout out Ty France. Jazz Chisholm, ranked the second best free agent. If he goes somewhere other than the Yankees, I would be, I guess, fine with that. A 735 OPS. Again, really wasn't the same after making the cover of MLB The Show. Brandon Lau and Nico Horner are two of the other big fish. And you have guys like Jonathan India, Gleyber Torres, and Mundo Sosa, Rockies legend Brendan Rodgers, and then everybody else. Third base, Alec Bohm is a guy here. He's an interesting guy. More of a high contact, low fielding third base, and maybe a first baseman for somebody, but had a decent year. But I mean, you're getting 732 from your OPS from your third baseman, not really worth it for most teams. Max Muncy just coming off another World Series win. He is in the free agent market. Kike Hernandez, and not really much moving in third base. Shortstop, Ha-Seong Kim. He is finally freed from the Tampa Bay Rays. Had two pretty good seasons there. But he's really mostly going to get value from his glove. And you see here with that glove basically doing the bulk out of back-to-back positive WAR seasons. Willie Castro back on the market after 1 year in Pittsburgh. A utility guy that could be interesting for somebody. J.P. Crawford and Garrett Hampson. And Orlando Arcia, not a good free agent class for shortstops. Whoever's paying Ha-Seong Kim, that drives his price right on up. Outfield is interesting. Randy Rosarena, Ian Happ, and Taylor Ward. Wrap things around there. Dalton Varsho, Cody Bellinger, top center field guys. And Victor Robles, Adolis Garcia, your top right field guys. So really, this is a pitching-heavy class. Your starters, you have some real good ones. Freddie Peralta, Tarek Skubal, Nestor Cortez, Flaherty, Shane Bieber, Woodruff, Singer, Sale, Means. This is a starting pitching type class. We will see who we go after here shortly. Let us make some moves and just kind of see how the board shakes out. All right, so Brandon Donovan has agreed to the trade. We're sending him to the Minnesota Twins for Simeon Woods Richardson. High K per 9 guy, has 2 more years of team control, or 5 more years of team control, 2 more before he hits arbitration. In his taste of the big league, in 46 games, like a 4.7 ERA, 155 strikeouts, 181 innings, really 1 full year of starting, which was okay in 2024. A guy that's definitely going to be pitching depth for us. We're going to be sending him over to Minnesota, who needs a second baseman. They have Luke Keeschel, who is almost ready, maybe 1 more year. So giving them a stopgap like Brendan Donovan is good. Sheds $12 million off of our payroll. And let's make this trade now. We have some money to work with. We found a deal for Cutter Crawford, sending him over to Chicago, the north side, for Kevin Alcantara. Kevin Alcantara, one of the former top prospects for the Cubs, and now that Pete Crow Armstrong is in town, not really much space for him, and they have some other good players developing underneath. We are going to send them over Cutter Crawford, who they would really like to throw him in that 4th spot in the rotation, maybe in another extra couple of years, has some more team control. I think it's a really good trade for both teams. We get some outfield depth, they get some pitching depth, and I think everyone wins in this scenario. So we're sending Cutter Crawford to Chicago for Kevin Alcantara. And the first big signing, Ryan Jeffers heading over to Toronto, 5 years, $75 million deal. They do have Alejandro Kirk. I don't think that he has signed definitely doesn't have Kirk's extension in place in real life, but still an interesting trade, or interesting sign nonetheless. All right, finally making the decision. We'll be releasing Trevor Story. We're on the hook for 17.5 this year, basically 9 next year. We got him gone. He's out. We set our 40-man roster where we need to do. We sent our first 2 contract offers in. Let us see. Again, we're not really making too many big splashes. We'll see Dalton Varsho signs right here. 6 years, 123 to the Reds. But yeah. So let's continue to go. Also, Durant signed his 2-year, $42 million. Costa signed his 1 year, $12 million deal. All right, contract decision time coming up. Who is it going to be, and for what, and for why? And it's a phone call. Probably Kopech didn't quite get across the finish line. Let's keep working on finalizing a deal. Evan Phillips, 1 year, $8 million. But with this, the motivation comes up, so we'll probably offer him that same deal here. Contract decision on Michael Kopech, and he is signed. He is signed. So 1 year, 3.78. He wanted one for 1 year, 4.5. So we were able to save almost $1 million on that. And especially when we have a big budget like us, these relievers, these bench players, we have to kind of go around the edges. So I'm fine bringing Kopech back on this deal. Brandon Lau is going to go to the Yankees. That's kind of scary with his left-handed bat, but they will not retain Jazz. 3 years, $53 million for Brandon Lau. Jazz Chisholm is going to go to Seattle, so they continue to add offensively. Chisholm only played about half the year last year, a little bit more than that. But we know what he has done for the Rockies in the past. Gets a big deal here with Seattle, and they're adding some more offensive punch to a ALCS berth last year. Tarek Skubal coming to division and going to be pitching for the Baltimore Orioles. I am scared. I am scared so much inside. 8 years, $328 million to the 30-year-old. That is ridiculously scary. All right, contract decision coming up, and we're hearing from Evan Phillips. And again, not quite the right deal, but we're going to keep going up there. We offered him another 1 year, $8 million deal. AJ Puck is also not quite there. We offered him 2 years, $4.5 million. So we'll continue to work with those guys. Chris Bubich, he is going to the Astros. They get the best reliever in the market. 46 saves, a 1.48 ERA last year. Contract decision, whether it's Puck or Phillips. We did max out Evan Phillips's motivation. And here he is. Welcome to the team, Evan Phillips. 1 year, $8 million. Probably going to be our closer, unless we go and make a deal here with the winter meetings coming up. Then back-to-back, AJ Puck also coming to the team. We dropped the money down a little bit, raised the year, and we got 2 good relievers now. So now let's check out the team. Also see Hassan Kim and Pete Alonso signing deals. I would love to just, why isn't, every, I don't know, if, you're an 80 or above, a decent player, even if you re-sign or not, show that. I don't know why they can't do that. Either way, starting we got Crochet, Alcantara, Houck, most likely Gonsolin. Well, we're going to have Gonsolin, whatever money it is going to be for Gonsolin. And then Johnny Turner and Brian Bayo. Sabina Woods-Richardson as depth as well. So we'll see how that all shakes out in spring training. We got Phillips, Whitlock, AJ Puck now as a lefty to go along with Brock Burke. We got Kopech still back here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Usually we keep 6. So between Kelly, Bachman, Kowski, Criswell, Weiser, you name them. Oh, actually, we have Justin Slayton. And then we have Slayton as well. So a pretty good bullpen, I think. I think we got better. Adding Phillips and Puck, I think, is better than Castro and Leclerc. And then we kept Kopech. So we'll see also who's in the market for, what's the word I am looking for? The Rule 5 draft, too. We also ended up getting Ashton Fuqua. So remember, this is a guy that we had on our radar, wasn't signed by the team, so we were able to scoop him up in free agency. We also got Eduardo Tate, who we ended up scooping in free agency as well. So adding some catcher depth for us, which is always good. But Ashton Fuqua, a guy we probably would have drafted, went in the second round. We add on really good. Hogan Windish ended up being on the 40-man roster. I'm going to remove him from the 40-man roster, but a guy that we added for depth at first base. We wanted a little bit of that as well, but team's shaping out pretty nicely. We will see what we got going on and see if we can add also around the edges even more. Jesus Luzardo going to the St. Louis Cardinals on a 5-year, $109 million deal. Good for him. Checking in on the draft lottery, nothing really changes. Rockies go from the first pick to the second. The Angels, the second pick to the first. Everything else stayed uniform. We weren't even in the discussion at pick 29 we are due to making the World Series. And yeah, so nothing really crazy. Shout out the Dodgers, I guess. Fuck the Dodgers. Whatever. We have a rare interdivision trade, but we finally found a home for David Hamilton over the course of the winter meetings. And Justinson Garcia and David Hamilton are going to go to the Tampa Bay Rays. And for us, we are getting back Theo Gillen, who had an insane rise against left-handed pitching this year, but is blocked by Braden Taylor and Junior Caminero. Two guys who are studs and are going to be really important for this Rays lineup. They also have Carson Williams, a whole bunch of... they're very deep in terms of prospects. So Theo Gillen, we're going to check actually before we do this and check out the what he is in terms of the top prospects. No, they don't have the top prospects. But anyway, he's going to be really good. He's going to be just fine. But we're going to take him from them. And again, I think this is pretty fair. We give them two really good players, two good cost control players. We get maybe the better prospect in the deal, but a 2-for-1. This is a Rays team that is always regrouping, and they have a surplus in that position. That's why I believe this trade is justified. It's fine. It's also my series. So I think this works. I think it's going to be fine. And again, a rare interdivision trade between us and the Tampa Bay Rays. Jack Flaherty finding a home in San Francisco, 3 years, $91 million deal. He is going to a very pitcher-friendly park and goes back to the NL West. We are going to skip our selection in the Rule 5 draft. A couple of guys looks like they are going, and we'll kind of show who they are. Darren Baker, son of Dusty Baker, now going to the Colorado Rockies, so that's pretty cool. Aaron Bracho, he goes to the Atlanta Braves at second base, and Cooper Kinney, a shortstop, middle infield, left side of the infield type guy, he is going to the Milwaukee Brewers. And the Braves are offering a trade, and this is for top prospect Matt Pearson. A potential guy. It looks like a little power over contact, good speed. They are also throwing in the deal Tobias Henry, their first overall pick or first round pick from this past year. Like, value-wise, you take this. Like, every day of the week, twice on Sunday. But we are going to hang on to Jarren Duran because we do have him for 2 more years. He is an incredible player. He is a spark plug for us, a 4-win guy. These guys would not make us better now, but probably you get more value out of it long term. But unfortunately, I'm going to say no to this trade, even though this is one of the cooler trades I think I've been offered, as they want to buff up left field. Tobias Henry probably could play for them now, especially against righties. Really mashes them and decent enough in this field. And then again, Matt Pearson, I believe, is the top prospect, not top 5 prospect in all of baseball. So we're going to say no, but that was a pretty cool trade. I thought I wanted to show you guys. Nestor Cortez is going to replace Jack Flaherty in the Detroit rotation, 83 overall guy. He gets 2 years, $50 million on the dot. And we signed Juan Yepez. Juan Yepez has really, really, really good hitting stats, and we needed really a backup first baseman. Kind of got dicey towards the end there when Casas went down, and we're like, who's going to play first base, especially with Romy Gonzalez with an ACL. Romy Gonzalez, we did re-sign for cheap. We also got Juan Yepez for cheap, so these guys will kind of battle up, see who's going to be the first baseman out of camp, and worst case, one of those guys goes down. We'll see, but either way, Juan Yepez, welcome to the Boston Red Sox. And kind of just looking at the free agency class left out there, guys like Nico Horner still out there, Brandon Woodruff, Brian Abreu, Seth Lugo, Drew Rasmussen, Kevin Ginkel, Willie Castro, AJ Minter, Keegan Aiken, things like that. So again, this wasn't really a stud-heavy free agent class, except for the very, 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 very top. And there's actually one guy that was on this list that isn't there anymore. I'm not going to spoil the surprise, but we're trying to go after a pretty big fish. After doing some thinking, doing some looking, be interested to see who you guys think it is, or if you remember who it is. But we'll be back, and hopefully a decision coming on him very soon. All right, the contract decision for that aforementioned player is coming now. We're getting a call, so he's going somewhere else, but it was Freddie Peralta. He went for 4 years, $27 million per year. We offered him, I think, $532 a year. So he's going to the Mets. He wanted to go there. They probably offered him first, which gave him some more bonus. We were basically 1 more week away, or a couple more days away from being able to offer him first, but it looks like he's going to the Mets, and that's probably going to do it for our big transaction. Nico Horner going to the Dodgers, 7 years, $113.7 million for him. All right, and Tony Gonsolin, we end up getting for $7.65 million. That is awesome. They sided with us. I don't know really what he threw up there, but it was going to be like 14 to sign him for 1 year, so we cut his deal in half, which is awesome. All right, so here's all of the trades that went down. Looks like Jordan Hicks went to the Orioles for Giancarlo Flores. Christian Yelich traded to the Mariners for Emerson Hancock, was interesting. Our trade down here, Jose Tena for Kasuke Yokoyama. Brewers and Nationals. Yuki Matsui going from the Dodgers to from the Padres to the Dodgers for Yennier Fernandez. Our trade of Cutter Crawford, Brendan Rodgers, and then Tyler Phillips for Gregory Soto. Reds-Phillies trade. What happened? We go into free agency. Here are all the signings we made. A lot of depth guys here. Chandler Simpson, a guy that you guys know. Isaiah Green, a guy you guys might know. But this was all of the signings that we made. Yankees, Jason Adam, Go Goodrum. Nothing too crazy here. Looking down at some of the bigger countries. Spencer Turnbull, Tristan McKenzie, Walker Buehler, Manny Margot, Drew Rasmussen, Brendan Loud, their big one. For the Rays, Orlando Arcia, got a decent deal from them. Steven Matz, Jake Fraley, 4 years, $45 million. Rays, so again, they don't really spend too much. David Peterson, 4 years, $47 million from the Blue Jays. And Ryan Jeffers first. These Hodgkins with the White Sox. You got Brian De La Cruz and the Luis Arias as well. Alex Vesia to Chicago. Brady Singer, 5 years, $118 million. He goes to the South Side. For the Guardians, Lance McCullers Jr., Willie Castro, Cody Bellinger, 4 years, $78 million. I almost said Chicago Tigers. Detroit Tigers got Garrett Hampton for $10 million a year. J.P. Crawford, Tyler Freeman, and Nestor Cortez were their big free agent gets. For the Kansas City Royals, Hunter Harvey goes back to them. Ty France, Ramon Marquez, Taylor Ward, Chas McCormick. Guys being added on there. Tyler Soderstrom goes to the Twins. Very interesting. Would have loved to maybe scoop him up, but did not see him, and we kind of already filled out our thing. Keegan Aiken, 4 years, $28. Jose Alvarado's 3 years, $23. Houston, do they have a problem? I believe they do. It's spending money on good players. Frankie Montas and Gleyber Torres. I guess they're all right. They get $30-ish million, and obviously they got Chris Bubich. Angels, Brendan Rodgers here late. They ended up adding Dane Myers, Aaron Bummer, John Means, and Chris Sale getting some nice contracts from the Angels, I guess. So you have that to add. So the Angels trying to not be the worst team in the league this year. Jojo Romero, Dennis Santana, a couple of relief arms, along with Luis Garcia. And Caleb Ketchup going to the will-be Las Vegas Athletics here, as we will give them a new stadium like in real life. We're also going to be giving a new stadium to Tampa Bay. So I'll probably show those off at some point this season. Enrique Hernandez and Jazz Chisholm, really the big gets for Seattle. So definitely the all vibes list. Jacob Junis to Texas. Ben Lively to Texas. Carlos Estevez. Harrison Bader. Alejandro Kirk. They're three contributing gets. A trio of catchers here on the 12th for Atlanta. And who else? Andrew Vaughn, Brian Abreu ended up going to the Braves as well. Anthony DeSclafani to the Marlins. And who did they give money to here? Randy Arozarena, part of the Fish. You love to see it. Freddie Peralta obviously got that big deal from the Mets. Could have been with us. That would have been interesting. That would have been fun, but I kind of like where we're at. Robbie Ray gets a deal for the Phillies, trying to rekindle some of that magic that he had earlier in his career. Jordan Montgomery also get a nice payday from the Phillies. Max Muncy joining them. Victor Robles joining them. So a couple of really good players to add on to their star-studded lineup as it is. Tyler Stevenson, only big get for Washington. Jesse Winker, a decent contract from the Cubs. Jake Rogers also gets paid by Chicago. Who else? Jonah Heim gets a nice $20 million from them. Marcell Ozuna gets $30 million from them. Jonathan India gets $56 million from them. So Chicago doing some stuff. They missed out on Brendan Donovan, a guy that we're going to try to trade them, but they ended up getting, who did they get from us? Cutter Crawford. So they had two stuff. Robert Stevenson going back to Cincinnati, where he really got some of his contract value with that signing with the Angels. He gets $10 million there. Carson Kelly, Joel Payamps, Ryan Mountcastle, and Darton Varsho. So 2 American League East foes going to the Cincinnati Reds. For the Milwaukee Brewers, who did they add? They added Alex Verdugo, Joey Gallo, Shane Bieber, 5 years under $13 million, and that was about it. They lost 2 stud pitchers, got one stud pitcher. I mean, he's pretty good. Tyrone Taylor, a nice contract. Jock Peterson, Pete Fairbanks, nice contracts from the Pirates, and a 6-year, $108 million contract handed out to Ha-Seong Kim from Pittsburgh. So they went into their pockets for the first time ever. Edouard Julien got cut by the Twins, sent over to the Cardinals. Free agency. Trevor Larnach, another former Twin. Griffin Canning gets almost $60 million from them. Casey Mize for a former number 1 overall pick, and Jesus Luzardo. So a couple of good pitchers going over to St. Louis. Nick Madrigal, Randall Grichuk, who Grichuk signs a deal with the Arizona Diamondbacks, seems like every single year. Yency Almonte as well. Joe Jimenez. So a light offseason for Arizona. Adrian Marrejon and Patrick Sandoval going to Colorado. And then the Dodgers are going to pick up Nico Horner there. Alec Burleson gets paid a little bit. Christian Encarnacion Strand goes there. Alec Bohm goes. So again, I don't know where the money is coming from. Not quite sure, but they sure do spend it. And David Bednar as well out there. Padres, who do they go out and get? Looks like nobody so far. Edmundo Sosa gets $37 million. Daniel Lowe gets a little bit. Ian Happ gets some money to go play in San Diego. San Francisco Giants, just trying to scroll through. Jack Flaherty gets paid, and that's really all they gave to. And then the Baltimore Orioles, Kevin Ginkel, Tarek Skubal, obviously, and that was about that. So, here's the squad. Garrett Crochet, Sandy Alcantara, Tanner Houck, Tony Gonsolin, and then Johnny Turner and Brian Bayo battling out, I guess with Simeon Wood Richardson, battling it out for the starting rotation spot. Evan Phillips, we're going to make you, sir, a closing pitcher. Justin Slayton, we are going to make you, sir, a relief pitcher. And this is what the bullpen's going to look like. Crochet, Puck, Slayton, Kopech, Burke, and then someone from this crop, most likely, with Evan Phillips. Connor Wong and Carlos Narvaez are going to be our catchers. We're probably going to have to add one more here, the 40-man. Tristan Casas, Juan Yepes, our first baseman. Christian Campbell, Ronnie Gonzalez at second. Theo Gillen, I'm actually pretty excited about Theo Gillen now. I kind of forgot that we traded for him. But he's going to be a very interesting add. We'll see how he does in spring training. But adding some future stability, hopefully, to third base. As Bregman we're probably moving on from him after this year. Marcelo Meyer, Rodolfo Castro, Mikey Romero making the 40-man roster. And then Jarren Duran, Rafaela, Kevin Alcantara, Chandler Simpson also on the 40-man with Roman Anthony and Alex Call. So, that's not going to do it quite yet. I have one more surprise for you. Give me a second. This is a surprise. Roman Anthony, Marcelo Meyer, Christian Campbell. The next 8 years, until 2035, all three of them came up together. All three of them just went to a World Series together. And all three of them will be together the next 25 years. Next 8 years. Roman Anthony when he is 30, and Meyer and Campbell when they are 32. Be free agents. We lock them in with Devers and Crochet. The next couple of years, we'll have Bayo and Raffaella with them as well. We got our core. We got our team. Let's go out and win. We'll see you next time here with some more Boston Red Sox franchise.